around the world. To the beach, y'all. Let's go. All around the world.
Hello Aggies, I hope you had a fun and exciting spring break. This week's class video is March Madness themed. Before I get started, a friend of mine and former MSU basketball player and founder of the Relentless Tour, Anthony Ianni, would like to give you all a message.
Hey, Beale City students, Anthony Ianni here with the Relentless Tour, former Michigan State Spartan and national motivational speaker. I came to your guys' school about, I think maybe 2 years ago it was, to talk to you about autism and anti-bullying awareness. Just wanted to send you guys a special message to continue to stay positive during this time in our lives, and also to continue to support one another, continue to support your friends, your family, your fellow Aggie students and teachers. And, 2 years ago I talked in my presentations about overcoming obstacles and challenges in life because no obstacle is too big to overcome. And that's what we're enduring in our lives right now. We have a big obstacle right in front of us, but you know what? We're going to overcome this obstacle that we're enduring in our lives right now. We're going to overcome it, and we're going to come out bigger and better and stronger as individuals from learning from this obstacle. So continue to support one another, stay positive, and just know we will overcome this obstacle that we're enduring in our lives right now. Go green, go white, and go Aggies. Thank you.
Thank you for the video, Anthony. Basketball for me has always been a place I can go to escape the stresses of everyday life. It has been such a big part of my life as a player, coach, and a fan. Last year I was lucky enough to be able to attend the Final Four in Minneapolis, Minnesota to cheer on my Spartans. It was a once-in-a-lifetime memory that I'll never, ever forget.
Please welcome the Michigan State Spartans.
March Madness is a magical time. Last Saturday was supposed to be the Final Four in Atlanta, Georgia. The real NCAA March Madness tournament may be canceled, but Mr. Fletcher's March Madness tournament is just getting started. So what I did was create this mock March Madness bracket with 16 teams. Each team played heads or tails to determine who advances in the tournament bracket. Here's how it went. To kick things off in the North region, Gonzaga has a tough matchup against Mid-Michigan College. Gonzaga comes in 31-2, and Mid-Michigan College comes in 19-10. Mid-Michigan College knocked off a number 4 in Mott Community College, 76-70. This is going to be a great matchup. And here is Mr. House.
Caleb House here, head coach Mid-Michigan men's basketball team. Super excited about our berth into this tournament and our matchup against Gonzaga. We're excited to try to knock these guys off and get the big upset.
Gonzaga narrowly escapes the Lakers of Mid-Michigan College with a last-second jump shot. In Game 2 of the North region, Florida State, who won the ACC with a 16-4 record and a 26-5 record overall, defeated a young but talented Kentucky squad and then moved on to beat Gonzaga to be the first team to reach the Final Four. For the first game of the Midwest region, we have the Battle of Ohio, Dayton versus Ohio State. Dayton surprised a lot of teams this year, finished 29-2, led by senior Obi Toppin, who averaged 20 points a game and 8 rebounds. You may not know it because Mr. Beckman's from Indiana, but he happens to be a big Ohio State fan.
O-H-I-O.
In Game 2 of the Midwest region, we have the Michigan State Spartans versus the Oregon Ducks. Oregon is coming off a 24-7 season, while Michigan State's a hot team led by senior point guard Cassius Winston. Unfortunately for Mr. Beckman and I, the odds were not in our favor. Dayton defeats Ohio State, and Oregon defeats Michigan State, led by Pac-12 Player of the Year and Mr. Pritchard's long-lost brother, Peyton Pritchard. Overall, Dayton is the second team that wins the Midwest Regional to join the Final Four. In Game 1 of the West region, we have Baylor at 26-4 for the season versus Central Michigan University. In Game 2 of the West Region, we have Mrs. Bukovich's Duke Blue Devils versus Mr. Leppert's Iowa Hawkeyes. I can already hear the trash talking between the two of them starting.
Behind the leadership of five-time champion Mike Krzyzewski, point guard Trey Jones, and our big man Vernon Carey, the Duke Blue Devils are going to take down Iowa today. Let's go Duke!
I don't know about you, Mr. Leppert, but those sound like fighting words. What do you have to say about this?
Oh, hey there, sports fans. It's time for March Madness. Well, I guess we're going to call it April Madness now. ACC has no chance against the Big Ten. My Iowa Hawkeyes are going to dominate the Duke Blue Devils. You know they call them the Dukies. That's a name for something else, too. Iowa's got the #1 player in the entire nation, Luka Garza, averaging over 29 points and 10 rebounds per game. You know what's going to happen. Iowa's going to come out victorious. Go Hawks!
Well, sorry, Mr. Leppert, but Mrs. Bukovich's Duke Blue Devils defeat the Iowa Hawkeyes. However, Cinderella story, Central Michigan University defeats Baylor and then goes on to beat Duke in a rematch of the March 22nd, 2003 game, Duke versus CMU in Salt Lake City, Utah, where Chris Kaman scored 25 for the Chippewas and J.J. Redick scored 26 for the Blue Devils. CMU gets revenge on Duke. CMU is the third team coming out of the West region. All right, folks, for Game 1 of the South region, we have the Kansas Jayhawks at 28-3 and 17-1 in the Pac-12 Conference, playing University of Michigan with an overall record of 19-12. And here's Carter Fussman with some Michigan hype.
No team stands a chance against Michigan in the bracket. They've been so hot ever since Livers has came back. No point of trying.
And in Game 2 of the South region, we have Mr. Pritchard's Syracuse Orange, who finished the season at 18-14, against the defending NCAA tournament champ, the Virginia Cavaliers, who finished 23-7. This is a battle of ACC competition. And just what do you have to say about this, Mr. Pritchard?
Everybody, Mr. Pritchard, your New York guy, born and raised in Western New York. Just want to let you know, Syracuse is going all the way. Ask Mr. Fletcher what happened last time the Orange played his Michigan State Spartans. I think he still owes me something for that one. Go Orange!
I don't know what you're talking about, Mr. Pritchard. A three-pointer by Brandon Johns of East Lansing High School lifts Michigan over Kansas, while Virginia defeats Syracuse. Sorry, Mr. Pritchard. And then defending champ Virginia beats Michigan to be the fourth team coming out of the South region for the Final Four. So the Final Four in Mr. Fletcher's March Madness tournament is Florida State versus Dayton and Central Michigan versus Virginia. Stay tuned till later in this video to see who wins it all. Okay, and now to the academic portion of my video. A lot has changed since my last video. We now know that we will be completing the entire rest of the school year by using distance learning. Grades for this week of April 6th and after will be counted in quarter 4. Here's what's going on in my classes for the week of April 6th. PE, continue to do an activity a day and track them in your weekly activity log. For my health classes, we're still in the dangers of tobacco and nicotine unit. 7th grade health, read chapter 13.3 and complete the assignment with that. Also complete the harmful chemicals and nicotine products activity. For 9th grade health, complete the impacts of smoking on the body systems activity, complete the harmful chemicals and nicotine products activity, and don't forget to take your quiz by Sunday. In high school computers class, take the personality trait inventory and write 2 paragraphs about your results. Then, take the Zello course planner and map out your junior and senior year of classes. For Tech Ed, reread the Other Construction PowerPoint and complete the Other Construction assignment. Also, read the Bridges PowerPoint and make sure you take the Bridges quiz by Sunday. And now a quick message from Mr. Beckman.
Hey Aggies, didn't see you there. Just out practicing my hoop skills trying to make the Central Michigan basketball team this year. Couple of things, I hope you're all doing well and everybody's staying healthy. Also, please make sure, I've been grading your assignments. You've been doing great. The PE logs, make sure you have your parents sign it at the bottom, just electronically. That's all they have to do, and date it. Also, please make sure when you turn in assignments that you're turning it in red coloring. It helps me figure out your answers better. All right. Hope everybody's doing well. Good to hear from you. I'm going to get back to practicing. Nothing but net. Not even going to look. Have a good day, Aggies.
And now back to Mr. Fletcher's 2020 March Madness basketball tournament. Florida State defeats Dayton to make the championship game, and Virginia defeats Cinderella story Central Michigan to make the championship game for the second year in a row. They say offense wins games and defense wins championships, and that's true for Coach Tony Bennett and the Virginia Cavaliers. They've won the national championship once again. Stay tuned for next week for my next video, and congratulations to the Virginia Cavaliers.